Hello guys, I'm back again with part 2 here. Um I like basically I've told you I've made a few notes and I'm watching a couple of times about the things that I prepared to actually talk to you. Um in this video I thought about talking to people, even to people who are not targeted individuals, and stumble upon this video, about what is narcissism. This is how it's pronounced, narcissism. And it has connections to me being a targeted individual, because ever since basically I found out about this disorder, about narcissism and about sociopathy, and I was a little child uh, back then when I realized that something is wrong there in my family unit, and if probably I don't know if some of them watch me now, and they won't like what I'm saying, but ever since I was a child, I realized some things were inherently wrong, um, in the normality of the people who are supposed to take care of me, and later on I discovered these people suffer from mental disorders, from personality disorders like narcissism, borderline, bipolar, especially bipolar and narcissism. When you combine narcissism and bipolar, you get a very strange combination and a very dangerous combination for an individual. If you look at my face, something like this, here, uh, I have I have a bit of a pain here in my teeth, so I'm far from being recovered from these attacks of I'm just looking like this because I want people to understand that people who are targeted, we are not some homeless people and some crazy people with a certificate or a criminal record, being claimed that we are the sham or the trash of the society. We are not that. We are actually people who are trying to wake you up, people who are trying to wake the society up, people who are trying to make people in this society realize that we are living a lie. We are living in a lie society, and until other people wake up that we are living a lie, and you don't have to take a gun and make a terrorist attack, god forbid, you just have to realize, like, mentally, that you are basically living in a system that doesn't want you to grow, a system that doesn't want you to grow up, a system that is satanic, a system a system that doesn't want you to succeed as a human being, a system that condones humanity, a system that protects pedophiles, criminals, rapists, uh, when they have to choose between a criminal or between a pedophile and a 12-year-old girl who has committed some sort of misdemeanor. They choose to commit that person, that 12-year-old girl, instead of committing a dangerous criminal from the system, from the police, from judges, from groups, from secret societies, from secret services. All of this secrecy, it's not good, because we live in times where people from the power should supposedly protect the citizens, protect us, but they do anything but protect you. And you can choose not to believe me, but you can choose to believe me or not to believe me. For people who don't believe me, beware that someday you might be in my place, or in other person's place who they never dreamed. They are people who paid local taxes, who paid government taxes, who worked every day of their lives, you know, who worked to make a fortune, to make money for their families, and they were targeted this way, and they were made terrorists and criminals overnight, without evidence, without anything, just to be scapegoats for a system that itself is a criminal system. And anyone who tries to wake somebody up, you know, even if you are a almost 26-year-old girl like I am, you know, even if I'm a student, even if I'm not a threat to anybody, I'm not going to say more here because they already surveil me and treat me like a national superstar criminal in these towns, you know. I don't know what other things may I say, but I don't wish to anybody. This is the reason why I make these videos, to wake other people up to the lies that we live in, starting from the system, because those are the people who basically want to make the prison incarceration systems more full, so they can get money each and every time a person gets incarcerated. They don't care if you are guilty or if you are not guilty, or if you are a student, or if you are a woman, or if you are a legal citizen in your country like I am. You know, I was born here, I have a certificate, I have a degree. No, they try to put me in prison. They try to make me a fake criminal record for 3.5 years. They try, if they can't find, there was a quote, if they can't find anything wrong with you, they create it, you know. Okay, I made enough of a parenthesis and shit, you know. I'll try to talk to you about narcissism today in a couple of parts, because this is the thing, this is the notion, this is the word basically that also saved my life, and I think in many ways it got me targeted, you know. And not because I offended someone, but because I offended them with my brain and with my knowledge, and with the fact that I see through the bullshit. And I always did, ever since I was a child, you know. They couldn't put me in authority, they couldn't break me down, not even people from my own family. And as I told you in the first video, I grew up around people with mental disorders. This is the reason I chosen psychology as a field, and social assistant. And I'm presently trying to finish my study, or trying to get my degree finished as a nurse, or as a psychologist with a master's degree. But I'm not sure, or I don't know what the outcome would be, or if I will get an opportunity in another country, you know. Because if you had to choose between a country where you are basically treated like some sort of a criminal, like I am, the terrorist, the criminal, yeah. I will also try to show you some interesting stuff, and I hope I will get to show you enough. If you see, this is a photo. And this is a certain person who was I'm trying to locate her, okay, who was herself convicted, and she had files orchestrated by corrupt prosecutors, corrupt militiamen, you know. I'm trying to locate this because I don't see the camera very well. She had files orchestrated by corrupt prosecutors, she's not a criminal and she's not a terrorist, and she has sued Romania along with her brother because of a prosecutor who tried to make her a file, you know, who tried to make her a corrupt file, a criminal record, without her having it, basically, you know. Her name is Andrea Cosma, and she has exposed like interesting files about the corruption and people in charge. You don't really hear that in Romania, you know. Everything you hear in Romania lately from the propaganda in the United States, like New York Times or Washington Post or stuff like this. You hear stuff like there's a fight in Romania. There's a fight for anti-corruption. They try to fight the corruption in Romania is so big. You see, they really tell the truth, you know, in those lines. But there is a big problem. They don't talk about the real criminals. The real criminals are actually police, prosecutors, judges, politicians, and secret services. Nobody talks about these things. They take a person from the street, a person like me, or an old woman, or an old man, and they accuse you overnight. They intercept you, they surveil you in your own bathroom, in your own house for indefinite years. You can be surveilled even for years, you know, just like I am being gang-stalked, you know. And this stuff are basically being paid also from people who pay taxes, from people who work, you know. It's all so much manipulation, and nobody talks about it, you know. It's a big bullshit. And they try to manipulate also the international press, and they say that they fight the anti-corruption, they fight the corruption in Romania. This is true, you know. There is so much corruption, starting with those who preach, you know. It's always those with the dirty fingers that accuse first, and this is exactly their case. They talk about terrorists, but they accuse people like me, you know. And I'm a student, and I'm an employee, and I never had anything. I think I've been to a few protests or a few gatherings, and I have a big mouth, and that's what I'm proud of. I'll never be ashamed of my big mouth, you know. But beyond that, you know, I'm just a normal teenager. I'm not some criminal or terrorist, and I just woke up like overnight being accused of stuff that I didn't do or haven't done, and with people who just try so hard for 3.5 years, and they still try, but nothing works, because I will stop here because my time is finished. I'll see you on part 3.